Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. I am making a video series today because I thought maybe somebody else has been thinking about sourdough rolls this week. Just me? I don't know. Aren't they beautiful? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to be home today. Today I have the 3.5 hours to babysit these things in between being on call for my husband for whatever painting or handing him drills or whatever I'm doing today to make these. So they'll be ready at about lunchtime or so. And not that it takes 3.5 hours of doing something with them. It's just you have to do something and then leave and then come back and then leave and come back. So it is kind of like babysitting. So the first thing you do when you have a recipe is you want to make sure you have all the things that you need from the start. So obviously you need some sourdough discard. Now what sourdough discard is this is my sourdough starter. So you look inside of there, it's kind of foamy on top and then underneath is kind of liquidy. This is sourdough starter and it's been in my fridge. I fed it like a week ago. And so this discard just means that like if I was gonna feed this again, I would have to discard or get rid of some of it because when you feed a sourdough starter, you feed it its own volume in flour and in water. So where mine is like full to here now, I obviously can't add flour and water enough to feed this. I'd have to discard some, start with like down here, and then be able to add what I needed. So that's why it's called discard, because we're always looking for something to do with the discard. You hate to just throw it away. Some people make crackers. I mean, you can make whatever with it. So I have that. That's good to go. This recipe also cheats a bit and does put some yeast in it. So I think they just call it sourdough discard because that really is a catchy title for those of us kind of granola weirdos who like to do sourdough with everything. Then we have salt, obviously, some sugar, and this wonderful King Arthur bread flour. I've stepped up my bread making game and actually bought bread flour. So there's that, and then I have my handy dandy mixer here that is just about as old as my marriage. I think it's older. I think Don got this before we got married. 20, maybe about 25 years old. Still going strong. And we need the dough hook on it. That's this one here. All right, so the first thing is, yes, you want to time it about 3.5 hours before you want to eat it. So it's about 8:30. It'll be ready at noon. It should be perfect. Exactly when my grandma used to have lunch on the table for, my mom used to have lunch on the table for Pop-Up, even though it usually wasn't edible because bless her heart. So we start with, it says combine the sourdough discard. So, and these were all written in grams. So I had to go and figure out what that was, which isn't hard with the internet. So 100 grams of sourdough discard is 1/3 of a cup and about 1/2 of a tablespoon. That's just so ridiculous. But, you know, I try to be as accurate as possible. But when it's like that, where it's like 1/2 of a tablespoon with 1/3 of a cup. Anyway, this is my 1/3 of a cup. So I'm going to kind of shake up my discard here. Gonna stir it up and just put it in here. So there we go. It's 1/3 of a cup. And I'm gonna scrape it out. And then I'm just gonna kind of consider that this stuff that was, can't see, can you? That all that was stuck to my spoon is like the 1/2 tablespoon. Maybe I'll give it just a little smidge more, like that. All right, so there is my discard. And I'm actually just gonna stick my starter back in the fridge because I'm not making anything else with it today. And it doesn't need to be fed. It can just go right back in there. All right, so there's that. Water. So 250 grams of water is a little over a cup. It doesn't have to be any particular temperature, just don't have it be hot. I get mine right out the tap. So there is, make sure, 1 cup. Sugar is 2 tablespoons of sugar. Here's my sugar. Here's my tablespoon. So we got a 1 and a 2. All right, and the yeast. All right, this is active dry yeast, and it comes in a packet. That's exactly what you need. 7 grams, I think. Yes, there it is. A quarter of an ounce, 7 grams. So you just cut the top off of there and dump it in. This is what yeast looks like if you've never seen it. It's like little teeny granules. And that's gonna start eating the sugar and start getting foamy, and so is the sourdough. So it says, into the bowl of your stand mixer and mix for 30 seconds until foamy. All right. Hope everybody's gonna have a great Saturday today. If you know what's going on in my life, I bet you can guess what I'm doing. It's either a Plexus event or working on the rental or cramming both. Today is just working on the rental, which is coming down to the wire. We got windows coming in this week, I believe, and then with the windows, hopefully comes the siding, and it's going to be beautiful. And we're really looking forward to our new renters joining us. All right, so I'm going to turn it off, and you can see that it's, can you see that it's bubbly? See how it's bubbly in there? I hope you could see that. Oops. All right, so now add the flour to the foamy mixture and combine until it forms a shaggy dough. So that's about 30 seconds. All right, so here's my special flour. Oh, I forgot to show you what else you're gonna need to cook it in. This beautiful, shiny, seasoned cast iron pan. This is one of my husband's beloved pans. There are a few things in life that make my husband happy that are actual things and not like his family. One is his cast iron pan collection. And the other 2 would be old lawnmowers and old chainsaws that he can fiddle with. Bless. All right, so 500 grams of bread flour. So that is about 4 and a scant 1/4 cup of bread flour. So I have this handy dandy, this is 4 cups here. And I gotta get a big spoon. All right, so we just put that in here. I do notice a nice difference with bread flour. It does seem to make a better bread. All right, so let's see how that shakes out. And obviously you shake it down to see. It's about a little less than 4 cups. Probably want to add a little bit more. All right. Yeah, that's 4 cups. And it said a scant 1/4 of a cup. Scant just means not quite, like you almost ran out and couldn't make it. So I'm gonna put that in there. There we are. So it's like a scant. It's like it's almost not quite there. Alrighty, so that's our flour. And it says to add the flour to the foamy mixture. It's still foamy. And combine until it forms a shaggy dough. Around 30 seconds will do it. Okay, so I am going to, it doesn't say whether to be stirring it and adding it, but I think I'm gonna do it that way. Let's see. I need my spoon again. A shaggy dough just means a dough that is kind of like rough. not smooth around the edges. Like a shaggy dog instead of a smooth-haired dog. All right. Mixing up nicely. And we'll toss that scant quarter cup in there. And I'll pick this up and show you. So you can see it's coming together. I think I'm gonna stop it for a second though, because I think I might want to take this spoon and just kind of make sure that it can all get in where it's supposed to be getting in. And get this stuff off the top. It said about 30 seconds. Let's see. It's starting to jump a bit. I should lock it into place. It's kind of shaggy. Yeah, it's starting to incorporate a little bit more. It's taking longer than 30 seconds though. Okay. Looks kind of like tuna fish. All right, I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to lift this up. And let's see here. Doesn't seem like it's enough water. Let me make sure that I had enough water here. 1 and 6 cups of water. Okay. And the discard, yes, was 1/3 of a cup. Okay. Okay, well, it's quite crumbly. Not quite holding together. I'm gonna have to figure out something on the fly now. I think I'm gonna add just a tad more water to it, because I don't think that this is like exciting, because it didn't quite go as I planned on it going. See, it's a little too crumbly. It should hold together at least as a shaggy dough. It should hold together more than that. So, so what happens when you're cooking? Sometimes it's just I'm just gonna add a wee bit of water in there. See what happens. Sometimes you gotta improvise. All right, it should kind of start to hold together. Yes. Okay, I think it's gonna work out. This will be exciting. We shall see. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off and lift up this, and you can see that it did start to form more. I'll put my hand in there, kind of. More like a crumbly dough than a shaggy dough. I'm not sure. Here I set out to show you how to do something, and I'm not sure that I did it right. Oh, such is life. But I'll show you how to handle disappointment, at least, if it doesn't turn out right. All right, well, we're gonna leave it, because the next part of the directions say to leave the dough to rest for 30 minutes. And then we're gonna come back and add the salt and butter to the bowl and knead the dough around 3 to 6 minutes. You want the dough to be elastic, silky, and slapping the sides of the bowl. Okay, so it's definitely a shaggy dough. I would call it more of a crumbly dough, but yep. All right, we shall see. Happy Saturday to you.